Hello there, it's me, Sari here again, and today I'm here to talk about different kinds of stamping blocks. I'm going to show you how I use different kinds of clear blocks, and I have gathered quite a few along the years, and I'm always looking out for something that is going to be better than the ones that I've got. This is just a clear, straight looking block which has got some kind of a gradation there with some lines and everything, and I do like that when I'm looking out for some new acrylic blocks. And these blocks work perfectly. I mean, if you're going to line up something, you could just make sure that those lines end up alongside of the paper and everything, and you can just press it from up and down. Usually I don't wiggle too much. I'm just going to press it from up and down and just lift it straight up. And I've got four imprints with that one. So, I mean, if I'm going to compare this to this, for example, this one is going to be a little bit thicker. But what I do love about the clear blocks from Inkadinkado is that the edges are soft and smooth. They give you a nice grip, and it has got those that grid pattern. The grid is a little bit bigger. If I'm going to compare it, let's see, on my hand like that, whereas this one is a little bit tighter, so to speak. But I do fancy this one better than that one, actually. Although the stamping quality may vary depending on what kind of an acrylic block I'm using. So let's use an Inkadinkado stamping block. And I'm using VersaFine as an ink because that is a really good ink. And that one turned out really nicely. I'm not sure about the Venice. That makes me sort of want to go back to see what could be wrong. Could it be that I didn't ink it up well enough? Well, it could work, I'm sure. So another thing that I do like about both clear stamps and clear blocks is that you can actually see where you're placing things, and you don't have to do any kind of a guesswork. It's just easy printing or stamping like that. So let's go to another kind of an ink, and this one is a rockable kind of an ink pad stamp tool. And in this case I have used a cling mount stamp, and I would absolutely recommend you to use cling mount stamps on these. I'll be showing you shortly why. I'm just going to ink this one up, and this is a stamp from Prima Marketing, and this is the first time I'm using it, so bear with me. Let's see. In this case you're not going to push it from upside and you're going to rock it, and you start from down and you go up. And in this case, I do love this as a tool. I wish I could work with one that is bigger, or actually has a bigger surface, but then you can't hold it now, can you? So this is the perfect size for me, and I do love this. I can't remember the brand. Could be Paper Mania. Let's see, Dovecraft it says there, and it is a set of 3 of these. Let's see, there's another small one here. So I bought these 3 together in a set. So in this case it's easy to stamp several times just by rocking. And it's really easy on the hands, and I do love this stamp block. I'm going to show you why I recommend you to use a bit thicker stamp. This is why. I mean, of course you are able to see that some ink has smudged there. So you might actually take a little bit of paper before you do the stamping, and then you're ready to go. Because this is a sort of a rocking chair thingy. The same thing goes here. I should absolutely just press it like that. Just rock it. And I do like this motion of stamping. So these are fancy. I do like these. And what else could I show you? Well, I did prepare a little bit bigger clear block, and this is a really nice size. I mean, you can take smaller stamps on it as well as a little bit bigger as this size. I mean, this is approximately the biggest size I can hold in my hands without it slipping and oops, making a mistake. Sometimes I do slip anyway, but these are actually better to hold on to than others. When it comes to clear blocks, sometimes they are so clear that you can't even see them anywhere. So sometimes I actually put on some washi tape just to make them visible on my crafting surface. So let's see, I'm just going to clean up a little bit because now I'm going to need some space, because now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those stamp press things from Fiskars and another brand. This is the small one, which I got just the other day, so I haven't really used it yet, but I know that it functions in the same way that this one does. This is the big one, which is 5 × 7 inches. It's a beautiful product, even though it might be a little bit too big sometimes, but I do like the way that one works. So the thing is that when you have a stamp press like this, you could just put it on your surface, just like that, and use the grid pattern. You could just put your head over it and just put down and lift it up, and there is the stamp. There's no hassle really. And then you just flip it over and ink it up. And I'm really light-handed when I'm doing this. Then I'm just going to flip it over again, and I've got lots of space for my fingers here. I don't have to worry about them getting stuck underneath or anything, because the height of the legs is really good. So now I'm going to stamp this, and you know, I could actually just twist it anyway. It's a really light and portable thing to carry with you. So I'm just going to press it down, and I'm just going to put my fingers here like that and just release it. So this is the magnificent part of it. It's a stamp press. You press it down and you release it, and there's an imprint there. Somebody showed me that you could actually do a little bit of wiggling with this one. The feet are a little bit flexible. Do you see that? I'm just tilting this one that way and that way. So bear in mind that if you accidentally just have too much weight on one side, then you might not get it in the exact spot, but the imprint will still be nice. I mean, even though I'm going to turn it like that, it's still the same procedure when I'm doing the stamping. So this is really a must-have. Unfortunately, we can't get hold of these in Swedish stores because they are not for the European market. I'm sure people in America can get hold of this small one. And the big one works the same. I mean, it's a really... I've had this one for years. Usually this one is sold with a set of stamps, perhaps with a wedding theme or something, so that you might be on the lookout for. And I'm thinking that since this is a product that has been out for quite some time, you might actually get some discount on it. So now, let's get to business. Let's see if I can make this big background stamp work. I'm hoping I'll be able to give it as much pressure as needed. Sometimes background stamps do give you a hard time just because you're not able to give the image enough pressure. Let's see if I can do that, because with this technique what I find helpful is that I can actually place it. I can just take my time, place it, and then just press it down. And sometimes some people actually use these 4 sponge things there. Press it down with them and then just work their way around, keeping the stamp press or stampees or what this one is called, keeping it in its place. And what you can do now is that lift it up and have a look-see. What does it look like underneath? If I were to see something about, hey, it hasn't stamped well enough, well, try pressing it down again. Because if you haven't shifted this, you should be able to re-stamp it or re-press it anyway. And then you can just lift it up and just look at that. The background turned out really nice, didn't it? So my recommendation to you is absolutely to get your hands on one of these stamp press tools. This one is called, I think, Stampees or Crafts 2 could be the brand for it. You could look for the Fiskars in Swedish, Fiskars stamp press. I wouldn't recommend you to buy Martha Stewart's she called it something else. I mean, the method is the same, but it doesn't have the same name. And why I wouldn't buy it is because the feet aren't tall enough. And that means that if I'm going to put on a stamp that is sort of medium thick, I mean, there are stamps that have even more mount in between, and then the rubber could be rather thick. Imagine having the feet less high, I mean shorter, or no, yeah, shorter perhaps, then you wouldn't be able to fit your hands underneath, and you wouldn't be able to place it really easily. And first and foremost, you wouldn't even have the chance to press it down because it would just touch the paper immediately. So no for Martha Stewart. I'm sorry, I do love Martha Stewart's products, but that one is a no for me. So Fiskars or Crafts 2 Stampees. Those are my tickets for a happy crafty time. Alright, I'm going to sign off right now, and I hope I'll have some nice crafty times ahead of you. Bye bye.